sky. Till we touch the sky. Yeah.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the Spectrum Podcast. I'm your host, TG. This is my co-host, James. James, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome. It's been another crazy week. NFL season has just preseason has officially started. The NBA Christmas games have been announced, and
Mm-hmm.
and college football is around the corner. It's looking good.
Yes. Yes, this means we're going to have a lot more to talk about than we do in the off season, other than trades and stuff that have already happened. Now, obviously, in this show, we're going to talk about the dumbest comment that has ever been made on the Dan Love Bastard show, or Bart show. I don't know how to pronounce the last part of his name. So we're going to pretty much talk about the dumbest comment that was made on there. Some issues that had happened that James had brought up to me before, that some big news nonsense that's been going on. And we're also going to be talking about the NFL preseason week 2 games of the preseason to discuss, just to see how good those games were, as well as players that played in those games. And obviously, I will be getting James's comments about the Hall of Fame game. This is he can give us his thoughts about that.
You mean the Super Bowl game of the century? You mean our Super Bowl game that we didn't get?
Yeah. But also, by the end of the show, I got something I need to get off my chest to two people who think being disrespectful is funny. So if you enjoy watching me, TG the bomb, as everybody on the OHIO podcast calls me, ripping on people, then guess what? You're gonna stick around to find just to watch me do that. But first, what we're gonna do is I will first get James's opinion on the Hall of Fame game that took place in the preseason week 1. James, tell me how did you like that game exactly?
I liked that game because we got to see first Carson Beck, who had an incredible game, but I think it was a lot of question marks when he got drafted to Arizona that we wanted to see if it was going to be answered. And I think Carson Beck did exactly that in that game. It was a back and forth contest, which was not expected. Usually the Hall of Fame games are a very slow burn, getting ready for the season. But I think this game showed that a lot of rookies are coming in looking to make a name for themselves. And it was a back and forth contest. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch. It was offense. It was defense. It wasn't just like one-sided. So I thought it was really, really cool to watch all the way up to the end. Yes, I believe that preseason has always been used to get guys just to get some snaps in, just to get them ready for the regular season. But a lot of these rookies can use this to make their own name, to definitely shoot up when it comes to if they're third, second, third strings, or if they're kind of not on the radar as much, working with the second units. They get to have a chance to show themselves. I think the Hall of Fame game was great. I think us inducting Luke Kuechly, Drew Brees, those guys, and giving them that moment is incredible. We love the Hall of Fame game for what it stands for, but I think we saw a good matchup between them and the Panthers. And it didn't involve starters. Because we already know, I think we're still in the idea that Jacoby Brissett is going to be the starter for Arizona, but this definitely helped Carson Beck prove that he should be the second string quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals. And we got to see a first look of Jeremiah Love, who was incredible, who was an incredible running back. He's going to be out for a week. He is dealing with a little bit of his knee, with a knee injury, and that's fine. He'll be ready probably by the time the regular season starts. But he played great. His change of direction is good. He has quick feet. We saw that at Notre Dame. We're seeing it now. I think it still needs to be some part of control that I want Jeremiah Love to get used to. We didn't see Marvin Harrison in this game, but I think it's still going to be some question marks answered for him. His second season wasn't as great.
Yeah, he did play this week 2. I will say that.
Yeah, so it's his hands aren't. I'm not gonna say they're a liability. I will say that they are. They were coming. They're not. They're just becoming a little bit of an if. You know, is he gonna catch it? Is he not gonna catch it? And that's what he was really good at that first season. So we're gonna see how that transitions into the next. But I'm also enjoyed watching this preseason because I feel like this is the first time in a long time where we've been seeing starting quarterbacks at least take snaps in the first quarter compared to it just being rookies the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, the Bears did play on Sunday, which we can get. I mean Saturday, which we'll get into um, with that at later in the show, and also that Caleb Williams most likely will not be playing any preseason games this this time around,
Why would he?
which I don't think is a great idea. I think he's should be at least be playing a quarter or two, at least one of these games. But hey, we'll get all into that a little bit early later in the show. But I think it was a great game. I think we got to see two teams that aren't on high on everybody's radar and seeing how their roster has improved. So I think that the Hall of Fame game was a great game. I think it was a great game. Super Bowl 2.
Yeah.
Super Bowl 2.0 that we didn't know we needed.
Mm-hmm. But it's what I will say, and I said about the game. I thought it was a great game, great back and forth. Carson Becker, like I said, he played pretty well. But I
Yeah.
think the thing that needs to be shown about him is consistency. Because look, he in college has those games where he has his great games, and then he has his bad games. He has some good games, then bad games, and it's like, can you be consistent for once?
Yeah,
Can you be consistent for once? I think that's the biggest question.
and then I wanted to. I definitely think we should. The next time around, I want to talk about the Las Vegas Raiders opening preseason game. How the Fernando Mendoza lovers came out of the woodwork and was like, "Just see that pass? It was beautiful, wasn't it?" And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Yeah, look, I like Fernando, but I said it before. He's got a lot of work to do to be a starting quarterback in the NFL and potential franchise. He's got a lot of work to do. But
he
so
got
does every other quarterback here. But like I said, the best of them all is Ty Simpson. The problem is he's just
oh
inconsistent as heck.
oh goodness.
That's his problem.
I was gonna say I think the best performance that I saw this preseason was Ty Simpson. 21 of
Mm-hmm.
5 incompletions, 2 touchdowns, 190 yards. I'm not. It was a great effort. Of course we already know Stetson Bennett is still is QB2 as of right now. But I think Ty Simpson made a great showing that he deserves to be put in that conversation. What happens after Matthew Stafford retires, if that's this season or next season, they have a quarterback that they can trust in Ty Simpson. He gets to sit back, listen to a future Hall of Famer. Now, what happens this season can determine if we're going to see a first ballot Hall of Famer or we're seeing a Hall of Famer. But in an MVP quarterback like Matthew Stafford and get to learn and listen and gets the bill. But I think he's at the best performance this preseason. For week 1, it had to go, well, to week 2, technically, had to go to Ty Simpson. Incredible
Mm-hmm.
performance against the Chiefs. Definitely.
Yeah, people, this is why I've said it. Like, I like Fernando, but he wasn't, because in the system he was in Indiana, it does not allow him to prepare for the NFL the way it should, because it's RPO.
Yeah.
And you cannot run an RPO system in the NFL. You cannot do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I like Fernando, but he's got a long way to go. Okay, I will be completely honest about that, because I've seen people up in arms about when Dan Orlowski
Yeah.
called Ty Simpson the best quarterback, a better quarterback than that of Fernando. Everybody, and that includes guys like Menace to Sports, like Chris Drew, who I've seen on Dead Air Sports and Menace to Sports, who said, "Oh, well, did you see that he has the most like out of pocket, like he has wild, incomplete, like the most like what I say about Caleb Williams, where his throws are completely inaccurate and uncatchable. He has those throws, but it's not like a Caleb Williams where it's all the time. It's inconsistency is his biggest problem.
Right. And I think,
And if you watch his games, it's like, no, when you see him play, he looks like an NFL quarterback when he has his great games, but it's his bad games where he's just inconsistent as heck.
and I think when you bring in a good offensive coordinator like the Rams have, I think that helps them. But we talked about it even when the draft was coming up, how a lot of some execs were saying, well, we see Ty Simpson as a better quarterback than Fernando Mendoza. Now, at that point, the Raiders had already made their decision. They were picking Fernando Mendoza no matter what, no matter
Of course. Because he won the Natty and what he did with Indiana.
Right.
Like, that's the far
But
wrong person.
it was told in a lot of different conversations, a lot of different rooms. We feel Ty Simpson is more quarterback, is more NFL ready than Fernando Mendoza.
Mm-hmm.
From where
And it
he
was,
was in Alabama, from how that last season went, we feel like he's more prepared. And this preseason game showed that Ty Simpson has that specialty. He has that look about him that can get teams wins. Now, he has time. He has time to push
yeah.
and time to build, but he's in a good place. He's in a great place. I think he had an incredible preseason game. Now, we're going to see what happens in the next week, but he showed that, hey, I'm NFL here. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get more into that performance as well. We'll go more in depth in it later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just better for you all to know at least his thoughts. Now, here's the funny thing. I'm gonna play you guys a clip of the Dan Lambert show or the Dan LeBatard show. And you're gonna hear pretty much the stupidest thing that got made up in this entire clip. It's pretty much the dumbest thing you will
I've
ever
not heard the clip yet, guys, so this is one of my first reaction. I've never heard the clip.
Yeah, I have, and it's like I'll tell you this. It's like designed to get Ohio State fans raging in a sense.
Poorly, and I was trying to guess who's a team that does that this year, and my answer will shock you.
So 1 through 10, it's Ohio State, Greg, Oregon, Georgia, Texas, Notre Dame, Indiana, Miami is 7, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Ole Miss. So which of those, Mike, do you think could be like a Clemson or like an LSU and they end up being unranked?
So what you look for here in trying to predict which team is going to have a poor season, it's got to have a tough schedule. It's got to run into other ranked teams, so it's got to be from a stacked conference. You try to eliminate some teams that probably won't have a really bad season because their schedule, both out of conference and in conference, is a bit favorable. Miami, hopefully they can make the ACC championship, but I don't think Miami is going to be bad, right? I don't think Miami is going to be finishing unranked. So we keep them in there. Same thing with Notre Dame. Indiana, that might be a contender for a lot of people because they won the championship last year. They lost Mendoza, but they brought in Hoover, and they're still pretty talented. And if you look at their schedule, it's pretty favorable, especially non-conference.
Ohio State at home, at Michigan.
Yeah, so
USC at home.
I was torn between Georgia, and Ohio State.
Ohio State's the one we're going to be
Ohio
surprised, right?
State would be my prediction right now because they lost like a bajillion guys in the NFL draft. That was a lot of talent, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And
at Texas week 2.
Now, I know Ryan Day's had success there, but when I feel like that was the end of their run. College football's changed. Being able to stack the classes, that's not really there. And I just think that they're on a downward trajectory. There's always a top 10 team, it seems, that just
so go ahead.
Finishes the season unranked. They end up firing their coach.
So that was the end of the clip, by the way, Tracy, that just replayed. That was when he says Ohio State is on a downward trajectory. I'm like, please tell me what the downward trajectory looked like to me. Like, you're seriously sitting here saying that Ohio State's on a downward trajectory. Oh, they can't stack talent. Buddy. 5th, 4th, 3rd in all their classes regarding the recruiting class. So they're still stacking talent. And not only that, but they're also top 15 in portal classes, so it's not like they're terrible there either. Like, are you confusing Ohio State with Clemson? Are you confusing Ryan Day with Dabo Swinney? And when you're talking about losing talent, and I get Ohio State loses talent, but tell me this real quick. How long has that been going on exactly? Like, they've been losing talent for how long to the NFL? On top of that, where do you see the downward trajectory starting again on Ohio State? I don't get what you're talking about, buddy. They're still stacking talent. As a matter of fact, this might be the deepest team they've had in a long time. The only thing you can say that they have It's a tough schedule. And even then, I don't think Ohio State goes unranked. Like, you're talking about they're going to go unranked? Since when did that happen? The last time that happened, they went 6-7 for Tattoo Gate.
First, this was my face. This is my face because I'm love Michigan. Ohio State is dog walking Michigan. Love Texas. I don't think Texas, because we said this last season, Texas has an incredible team, but we don't know where Archie Manning is going to play well or not, and that determines how good Texas is going to be. USC, as a threat to Ohio State in the Big Ten Conference, is crazy to me. But, okay.
Look, the only thing they got on Ohio State is you're getting them at home. But even then, I don't think you beat Ohio State. You could give them a fun little game, but I don't think so.
I don't think when we're talking about powerhouse teams, but the crazy thing is, it's not I don't understand this. I remember a couple years ago, Shannon Sharp said the same thing about Ryan Day and about how his trajectory is and how we don't know if he's one of those national championship coaches and Ohio State's culture has changed and all this other stuff. And it always comes back to, well, Ohio State has been dominant, but their run is coming to an end because we lost guys to the NFL and, like, no other guys are going to come in. Like, we weren't going to get no other recruiting classes to come back to Ohio State. Literally, just this week, setting them up for a future, we have a 2028 committed player to Ohio State in the quarterback to help out that class, which is incredible for Ohio State. But where is this trajectory that every single year Ohio State's run is coming to an end? Where, like, oh yeah, last year they were good, but now they're going to be unranked. They're not going to make the conference. They're not going to even make the Big Ten tournament. And I'm like, from whose schedule standpoint are you seeing this from? Where are you seeing games where defenses just collapse and they just don't win a game? I know, I'm trying to understand. Even last season, some games were, a little bit harder than others, but Ohio State came out on top almost every time. Now, from that list you just gave me, I'm going to be completely honest with you. My teams are Notre Dame and Indiana. Indiana has talent, but that entire team has just changed around from last season. How do we know that Indiana's going to be still in that conversation of being in the playoffs compared to Ohio State? And we just saw how last year Notre Dame didn't even, in their minds, didn't get a chance to make the playoffs, but got a chance to make the bowl game and didn't accept that because they felt they were robbed of a CFB playoff spot. But yeah, no, Ohio State for sure. Georgia, I think Georgia's up and down. Georgia, we're not.
Yeah. But they're up and down, but they still make the playoffs. That's the funny thing about it.
So I don't. But do I?
And not only that too, but like Miami would be another one because, like, think about it. They lost so much talent. They lost Ruben Bain. They lost the other DN opposite of him, because that was their whole defense last year. We don't know how good their secondary is going to be. We don't know how good their linebacker unit is going to be. We don't know how good their offensive line is going to be since they lost majority of their talent to the NFL, just like Ohio State. But the difference is we've never seen Miami be able to just come back after that. And not only that, but they also have the tendency to lose games they got no business losing to. It's like what Ohio State fans used to complain about with Urban Meyer. When he lost one game, he had no business losing. At least it was only one. But Miami has the ability to lose 2 or 3 games they got no business losing. So, like, we don't even know if they're going to win majority of their ACC games. So that's another team for me. And it's like, what? And look, what you said about Indiana is, I said it too. I said there's a chance they make the playoffs, but I'm like, I'm not going to go out of my way to crown Hoover or something, because here's the thing. Indiana's team is turned around where he's more of a gunslinger. He's not like Mendoza. Like, at least I could give Mendoza this credit where he can stay in the pocket and make throws. Yes, is he as consistent over the middle of the field as I like him to be? No. But look, at least he's able to make throws in the pocket to the boundaries. He doesn't make stupid passes that could get interceptions. Yeah. He doesn't do that. Like Hoover will do that stuff because he's a playmaker. That's what he's got to be if he's going to be successful.
He's looking for the big play. And that
always.
Can come back to bite, but that's where Indiana has to show him how to slow the pace down. That college is the basis where you're supposed to critique and polish your quarterback to be ready for the next level, if that's the plan. Now, if Indiana is looking to make another run of impact of getting back to the college football playoffs and back to the college championship, they have to clean up those things. Do I see Indiana as the best team in college football right now? I don't know. It's too many question marks. I don't think as of right now, I don't think Indiana is going back to to the championship game.
They have a chance, but I don't think so. I think it might be Oregon or Ohio State. And look, Ohio State, yes, they got the tougher schedule, but it's like I've seen them work with tough schedules before. People tend to forget that 2024, yes, they didn't have a tough non-conference game. They were trying to get one, but nobody wanted to play them because they were afraid of that team. But they did have a tough conference schedule with 3 top 5 matchups. They lost one, lost to their arch rival for the second year in a row, and still made the playoffs, went on and won the whole natty. So, yeah, they got like a tough schedule this year. That's no different from last year, except just the non-conference game. And again, people, when you talk about against some of these teams, like I said, Notre Dame could possibly not make it because they have the tendency to lose games they got no business losing to as well.
True. And being that they're independent, it's harder for them to even stay in the conversation of being.
Oh yeah, they can't lose no more than one game if they want to make it in. If they lose 2, they're out because it's a 14 playoff basically for them. As long as they're independent, you can't lose 2 games, especially top tier games. Or to G5 schools or to bottom tier schools in other conferences. Like, you can't lose.
Yeah. And
that's the unfortunate part for him. That's where, when that list came out, I'm like, you got to be kidding me when you're saying this. Like, tell me you're not being serious when you're saying this. Tell me that you're just, like, this is what I'm saying. They're saying this just for clickbait, in my opinion, or either he truly believes this. I don't know.
I think he believes it.
If you truly believe this, buddy, man, you need some goddamn help. As a matter of fact, if you guys haven't already, check it out on the OHL podcast. Eric had made a video about something Vader had said about Ohio State in training camp because he's very well connected. We know who he's connected to. Not gonna say their name because we don't want to get them in trouble. But we know who Vader's sources are that he's connected with very personally. And he's gotten a lot of information. If you guys aren't already, go to Patreon and be a member of the OHL podcast to get that information. Sign up for $5 if you want that information, by the way, because you only get the free chat. You don't get the other stuff that has the information you're looking for. But the information that Vader had came back with had a lot to do with Ohio State regarding how the team looks. So here we're gonna go. I'm finna pull it up in a minute right here. If you guys haven't, you can check it out on Eric's video. And by the way, shout out to my best friend Janaya right here. Shout out to her. But what I'm finna do, if it just exit me out, it did. I'm gonna show you guys exactly what Vader means, and I'm gonna show it on my Patreon screen. If you guys want, like I said, if you guys want to see this information, you sign up to Patreon. Sign up for $5 to get the full amount. All right. So here it is right here, the chat room for it, and he talked about what the offense and defense look like. Now, for starters, and I'm not going to read all of it, but I'll break it down for you. Julian Sain is commanding the offense. Right. Shocker, shocker. Of course, he should be doing that, as a matter of fact. And it's not surprising. In matter of fact, they're going to have him calling plays on the line of scrimmage because of his intelligence. His tight ball window throwing has been even better than it's been before. Arthur Smith has this guy working in the NFL offense. You have Bo Jackson and the running backs. Bo Jackson and Isaiah West are being seen like Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins back in 2024 is what that backfield looked like with the two of them. And then you got Legend Bay, who's been making plays. And it seems like, from what I understand, as Vader points out right here, Arthur Smith is going to try to get Legend Bay 7 to 10 touches per game, whether that's through runs, screens, motions, and specialized packages, should all be possible for Legend Bay. Because of how electric he is. And even Jacoby Jackson is someone who I think will be in the CJ Donaldson role, except he'll be way better at it than CJ Donaldson. Not to shut at CJ, but it's factual. He's going to be far better than CJ, and he's a really good running back at that, and a powerful one at that. So you pretty much got a pretty deep running back room, and there's been a lot of good things about Turbo in them. Yeah. Then you got the offensive line, because this is the biggest reason why Arthur Smith got hired, because Arthur Smith to the offensive line is what Ryan Day is to the quarterbacks as a coach. And apparently, the offensive line is like 8-9 deep. All because of the development that Arthur Smith's been putting into these guys. When he first came in, his first thing was, I'm going to fix the offensive line. Show me what you guys did last year. Guess what? He saw what they did last year, said, throw this all in the trash. Let's work from scratch again, and let me show you how to work with this offensive line. He's doing basically exactly what Chip Kelly did in his first year with the offensive line, which is exactly what Ohio State needed, to be quite honest, because that's what helped them last time. He's even planning on using Sam Greer in the tight end jumbo package, which from what I hear, sounds like they're able to do a lot more with than what they did last year, because they're able to do multi-things, and I can't wait to see what they do. He's also going to move Jeremiah Smith around the offense everywhere. He's going to be moved everywhere on the offense. So
we can use him like Debo. I actually like that. I actually like that idea for Jeremiah. Let's show how elusive he is. I love that idea.
Yeah, inside, outside, motion, everything. Like, they're going to be using him everywhere just to try to get him some good matchups. But it's not just that, but the wide receivers behind him, because we talk about how the wide receiver room, we're not sure who's going to be the number 2, this, that, and the other. They look deeper and far more explosive, because one of the things they needed to work on was yards after catch.
Yeah.
They've been great at that, actually. They have. They've been great at that, as a matter of fact, with Arthur Smith. He's even having working on yards after catch and blocking, which, thank you, Arthur Smith. Thank you. That's all we've been asking for. They look more explosive. Now, the tight end room is the only big concern, but it's not really much because, well, he's going to know how to, Arthur Smith is going to know how to make the tight ends useful enough where they can be good. Now, I'll tell you this. Nate Roberts is a great receiving tight end. He's the best of the bunch. When it comes to blocking, last year he was good, but he needs to do better in some other aspects of blocking for him to, be a full-on, all-around tight end. But in the next one, which is the one that every Buckeye has been asking for, which is all about really the secondary and especially special teams and the final thoughts. Now, the secondary has been very much improved. Like, for instance, Devin Sanchez, the freshman from last year, he had his freshman moments. He had his great moments. He's looked so much better, especially when he's going up against Jeremiah Smith on a regular basis. He does. As a matter of fact, the other part of it is with this is you have McClain taking over the leadership role since Caleb Downs left. Because look, you can replace Caleb Downs as far as physicality. You can't replace him as far as his intelligence and his leadership and putting everybody in the right position to strike when the time is right. Because that's the one thing Caleb Downs had. So you got that going on here with McClain, as well as Jay Timmons. He will be a nickel, it sounds like. And he's a freshman, people. He's been making plays. And it's not just him. You also have Dominic Kelly, who's been showing out. The linebacker room looks deep as heck. Another thing right here is the linebackers and the defensive line. Now, the D-line couldn't legitimately go 10 deep. Did you know that? The D-line can go 10 deep. And the linebackers can go 5-6 deep.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Not only that, but Peyton Pierce is going to be the coach on the field, as he should be. He's going to be the one wearing the green helmet, communicating with everybody, the green dot on the helmet. He's going to be doing that. So, honestly, and not only that, but you have Pettijohn, Alford, Johnson, Sincere Johnson. That kid already looked like a freak. That kid sounds like he might get some playing time. And he a freshman. And he a freakazoid. As a freshman. And And you still got Garrett Stover, who's freaky fast. You still got Eli Johnson, who's really freaky good. Christian Allegro, who seems like he's going to be the perfect weapon against tight ends when they try to use tight ends against them.
Yeah.
So the tight ends, so basically they're going to be able to go deep. And like I said, back to the one about the special teams, because this is one everybody wants to hear about. It looks like special teams has been getting a lot more coaching since they got Robbie Disher. Like, seriously, special teams look like they could make a huge jump, and it seems like they're going to make a lot of differences regarding special teams overall. Like, kicking is being better. You have Rookert and Bradford to receive series playing time on here as well, by the way, and they may do something regarding special teams, but also in the backfield. They are going to get some playing time in the backfield and in special teams. They're also... they're looking to do a lot of things with special teams, as a matter of fact, like blocking punts, blocking field goals. They've been working on that. Returning punts and returning kickoffs. They've been getting better at that. So the bottom line is, when it comes to from what we've seen of the line of scrimmage, as far as these practices, the entire Ohio State team looks like they're just ready to go. And they're super deep everywhere, people. Everywhere. Everywhere. Like, what are we talking about here? And you're talking about they're on a downtown, buddy?
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think this team looks better than they have in a while. And going off of last season, yeah, we lost guys to the draft, but
11 guys.
You lost 11 guys to the draft, but that's
well, actually more than 11. It's like 14 dudes. They could have repeated. Maybe even got to Georgia's record had they got a couple more guys drafted.
Yeah.
So it's like they have lost more guys to the draft, and the guys who didn't even get drafted still ended up signing to teams that wanted them, and they played as well. So it's like
this team is still explosive. They still have all of their pieces and talent. I don't see Ohio State being an unranked anything this season at all. I see Ohio State in the college football playoffs. Because
even at 9-3, as long as they don't lose to no bad team, because they're not Texas, they ain't gonna lose to no Florida team. Like Ryan Day is not gonna be Urban where he's losing to a team he got no business losing to. He ain't doing that. I'm sorry. Like Ryan Day's not doing that. He's not.
Ryan Day has become the coach that Ohio State has needed, and I don't see any way, shape, or form that he's not having an impressive season this season. I could say that with all certainty. But yeah, as an unranked, no, that's the last team that's on my mind to be an unranked team that will not be in a playoff position.
You're right. Like, what made you think that? It's like, I don't understand. Why would you believe that? Now, I know there are some people in the media who do this just to rage out Ohio State fans, but he genuinely seems like he means what he says. And I'm like, what's the proof? Like, where? Like, are you sure you're not talking about Clemson? Are you confusing Ohio State with Clemson? Seriously, like, and I get it too. Like, you see Bama have their downturn since Nick Saban left, but that's because Nick Saban's gone. And you've seen Georgia have their up and down. But it's like, do you want to know what the difference is between Ohio State, Clemson, Bama, and Georgia as of right now? Ohio State doesn't rely on stacked classes. They know that they got to do development.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this for years, people. It's development. Coaching staffs.
And that is crazy how we've come to this day and age where we're looking at stat classes and like, you guys are going to be the best team because you guys got a stat draft class of guys that played in high school. Where did that become the end all be all? Like, that's not the end of this.
That was like back in the day when you needed top classes before NIL and all that became a thing. That's when those stat classes mattered a lot.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter because of the fact that improvement makes a player. Like, we see so many guys that have been top-ranked guys and get to the league and become busts. And it's not because they were bad players. It's just because at some point the game, you couldn't get with you couldn't adapt. Your transitioning wasn't positive because we were still going off of your old accolades of what you used to do, and we never worked on what you can do better. It's improvement. That's what college is for. That's why we enjoy watching college football because
Mm-hmm.
this is where you get to make mistakes, and then we can polish you to where the next level or the next thing you do makes you better. Like, I'm almost the type, you forget the last snap. You know, you make an interception, you forget about it. It happened, it's over. You look at the next play, you look at the next drive. That's always the mindset I've always had, no matter what it is. You miss a tackle, fine. You know, I think it's so crazy to come from this day and age where a player will make a mistake and look at his coach. And like, all right, so you gonna take me out? You gonna like, no. But you don't need to look at me. I know what you did. You messed up. Get back. Get it back. Be better than what you just were. All right? That's all I have to say about that. But when it comes to draft classes and that being the end all be all, and it's not. You know, you can have a really stacked draft class with great top picks in each of your positions. But is that going to be all you need? It's not. That's why you need coaches. That's why you need development. But listen, I like a lot of the teams this season. I think there are going to be some teams that are going to make some really big impacts and really surprise us. But I also think it's going to be some teams that they are really, really high up on are going to do exactly what they did last season and be a bowl team or a non-playoff team. And that's just because of where they're set up to be, because their talent only can get them so far. The coaching has the massive talent. And there's still some teams that we're still trying to figure out the coaching side other than the talent side.
Yep. So, and again, you still got a lot of teams who still ain't figured that out. I mean, again, people, you've seen it. Look at Texas A&M. Again, they're always the greatest example of don't buy into the fact that a great, all-time great recruiting class is going to lead to you being successful. If you ain't got the right coach, you're going to suck no matter what. So, like, I don't get where you guys are talking about, oh, well, they can't stack Duke. They don't rely on that. Yeah, they were able to do that back in the day, and they're still doing it now. And they're still going into the portal getting guys. It's not like they're just incompetent to it. Like, people, the culture is also the same. Because when people also bring up the culture, I'm like, guys, the culture has been the same long before any of the coaches that came before Ryan Day ever were around. It started with Paul Brown, then Wes Lexter, or some other coach that was before Woody Hayes, then Woody Hayes, then Earl Bruce, Cooper, Tressel, Urban, then Day. The culture has been through these guys in their own way. It started with Paul Brown, and they built the culture around no one person is bigger than the Block O. No coach, no player, no AD, no president, nobody is bigger than the Block O. That's continued. And the culture has evolved as time has gone on, people. Cultures can evolve. They will be the same. They will still keep their traditions, but they will modernize it and still be the same, just through different variations in different stages. Nothing about Ohio State's culture's changed other than the fact it's evolved. That's all. So it's like when you kind of make a stupid comment like, oh, they go unranked and they won't make the playoffs. I'm like, the last time that happened, they had Luke Fickell as their interim head coach after they fired Tressel for Tattoo-Gate. That was the last time that happened. And Fickell was not ready to be a head coach. The talent was not the problem. It was coaching. They had the talent to win more. They had the talent to win 11 games.
Yeah.
Like, just because you lost Terrell Pryor and the members of the Tattoo Five, the other members of the Tattoo Five, didn't mean you didn't have the talent to go win. You just didn't have the coach. That was the problem.
Yeah. That's where half of the problems occur. You know, we ask, why do we fire coaches first? Because coaches are the ones that are supposed to put you in situations. You know, talent only gets you so far. Your talent is great if you have all of the things to be coached. But if I can coach you well, you're going to go far. I think that's what makes great players. That's what makes great schools. We look at legacies. We look at the players before them that have shown something from any school. That's what makes them great players. You know, it doesn't just be off talent alone. And this, I feel like when the episodes we've done this summer have been about guys and talent and nothing about coaching. We have always talked about guys having this talent or having this. We just talked about Tennessee getting the running back of their dreams that, but that has to come with something because his talent only can go so far. But you have to help him to even bring that talent out of him.
There's even a chance that the stuff you gave him can end up being illegal. Because if you guys didn't catch it on the shows I talked about previously, the Protect College Sports Act is on its way to being initiated soon, in months, it sounds like. Because the SEC and the Big Ten are on board with it. So it's like, if that becomes fruition, Tennessee's deal with the running back of their teams, DGG, is completely illegal. Like, so y'all basically, it's against the law. So you gotta get rid of that deal, or you gotta restructure to where you're paying it out of your pocket fully. You can't ask you can't ask Adidas to pay the rest of the $1 million or $2 million, whatever you're paying DGG. You can't ask them to pay that money now. You got to come out of the school's pocket now.
That's the
unfortunate part. No, it shouldn't. But that's what Tennessee gets for doing that crap.
You can't ask an endorsement company to help you pay.
Oh no, that's the point. The Protect College Sports Act makes that illegal. You can't ask them to help you no more.
That's just like me saying, hey, Jalen Williams, you're such an incredible wide receiver, but we can't match that contract. But we're gonna tell Nike to pay it, and they're gonna pay out the rest of your contract for whatever the NIL money is. But like, it's technically coming from them, but it's really coming from us. I'm not picking up your tab. Either you pay him, or you tell him to take less of whatever you can pay him. But we're not picking up your tab. That's crazy.
And Adidas only went along with it just because they figured they could get the kid, and they just wanted to help out Tennessee because they are to Tennessee what Oregon is to Nike. Except the difference is, at least for Nike, the owner is actually the owner is someone else who's part of that company, are alumni from Oregon. So at least you can say that. But
because we can turn that into you can be like, oh, this is just me giving back to my alma mater.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. But even he doesn't get involved in the NIL deals. He just donates them money to give the NIL to these kids.
Right.
He ain't gotta do it. Like, he already has like a deal set up. Like, he signs these kids to separate deals, but he don't pay their money. He don't pay their NIL.
And now if the Adidas CEO said like, hey, I want to give a donation, that's a little different. We can roll with that. But no, I can't pay out the money you offered me and go through my own endorsement deal. No.
But here's the worst part too, is like, for them, like I said, there will be a salary cap for how many players you retain and the players you bring in through recruiting. So yeah, there is gonna be some cap. So now you definitely kind of screwed there.
I've been watching sports since 2016. That feels like a decade ago. I've never
It's 2016, it's 2026, so it kind of was.
I've never, in all of my years of watching sports, I've never had a conversation of us talking about in college, I got to add a salary cap to how many guys I can pay to come to my school. I've never seen a player hold out for an NIL deal to go to a college. And I'm just like, what's going on? Like, I understand that the times have changed, but this is college. This is not major. We're not in the league yet. We're not in that moment where you're a first round or second round pick where you can have that say of negotiating your contract. You're a woman.
Well, the good thing is, I don't think they can do that, because if they do, there is penalties for that. But also, they try to do this because of these agents. And the good thing is, like I said about the law, because you weren't here with me when I talked about it, which was these parents who try to be the agents, they can't do that no more. Now you got to go through and be a legitimate agent. It's the same thing with agents, though. Like, you can't ask these kids to pay you 20%. You're only getting 5% of what they're making now. Yeah. So this law is to help these kids. The other thing is with the transfer portal, because we talked about it with Indiana, how they did, like, went through the portal and did all this. Yeah, now you can't do that no more. Yeah, everybody's only transferring one time. You get one transfer. Now, here's the funny thing. If a coach leaves, you're excluded from that. Like you can transfer, that won't penalize you. You'll still get another free transfer. But any other time, nah. Like, buddy, you get one transfer only. After that, you're gonna probably have to sit out for a year. So if you're going to the portal, you better be wary of the consequences. So that's the other thing that's coming.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm actually like the college sports app because it's supposed to negate the craziness.
I think the NCAA has definitely put a damper on things, especially when it came to just kind of what people taking advantage of.
That's because courts do not trust them to enforce the rules, and rightfully so, because it's like they've earned that reputation, as well as the fact that like they just threw their hands up and said they just not gonna do nothing about it. They just because they lose in court all the time.
And I will say, and that's another crazy thing, because I think the NCAA has had some very good cases, especially when it came to Ole Miss's quarterback and Texas A&M's quarterback. And then they have been just blatantly overtaken by court laws and saying, "Oh, well, no, we're going to let them play."
Yeah, well, the good thing is with the Protect College Sports Act is it will prevent governments from making any decisions. Like governments, I don't know what they'll do as far as the courts and everything, but I do believe the courts won't be able to impact these guys as much, but we'll see. But when it comes to governments of the state, like, Tennessee and Ole Miss, like, how the states of those schools have been making laws to try to, get an advantage in NIL. Yeah, they can't do that no more. They can't be involved. They can't be. No, that's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they're doing down south, and it's only down south. Like you don't see that nowhere else.
Follow under your jurisdiction. We are the NCAA. They play under us. They do not play under you. They play in your state, but that doesn't mean that you should have any first say.
Yeah. But the good thing is they don't have any power to do that anymore under the Protect College Sports Act as well. So.
Hey, NCAA, good job. Good job fighting back. I like the fight.
Oh, for once, that's because the president is helping them do that, as well as the governments entirely. Like, they're doing everything they can to put a stop to this. But, but people, it's just how college sports has been crazy. And like I said, these are just people be coming up with some of the dumbest takes I couldn't even. It's like, what made you think that? That is just the dumbest take I've ever heard. Like I said, I get it. They have a tough schedule. They do. They got really the toughest schedule, more than anyone else really in college football. But I wouldn't think they're going to go out and go unranked. Like it's not like they're losing 5 games. Like get real, buddy.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're not.
Get real. So you brought up to my attention about something that had happened, James. You want to bring it up?
With the Enes Kanter situation. Is that what
you?
I first want to say this because I think we have to make this very, very clear. The reason that this is even a conversation is because, as we know, Enes Kanter, whose name is like Enes Freedom, who fights for the freedom of anyone that is being wrongfully judged or discriminated against and stuff like that. This all has come up to the conversation of transgender athletes, which I think is a very strong conversation because that has something to play in. The conversation more started off as, if I am born a woman and decide to transition as a man, or if I am born a man decide to transition as a woman and I still want to play in a sport, should I still be told to play in the NBA or can I go to the WNBA? I think that this is a strong conversation that needs to be had. I just don't think that Enes Kanter needs to be the one to have it. I think that not only just him, and I know it was another player that was also playing in the Big 3 league who was also saying that he's joining the WNBA draft and will be a part of that as well. And it's also going to be a conversation between the commissioner of the WNBA to determine what exactly is considered a woman, which I think that needs to definitely be a conversation. From one side,
if you were strictly born a woman, I don't care for training.
I think that definitely should have a play in. It has opened up a big conversation. I understand that. I don't think Enes Kanter should be the one to do it. I don't think Enes Kanter should be messing with the WNBA. I understand that there are some women that are like, yeah, let them join. We're good. We'll play against them. I don't think that that's the case. I think you need to keep this how it always has been. But this is a good. These are conversations that we're in now. What does happen when you have a ranked? Because let's say I'm a guy and I'm top ranked in my high school, and I decide to transition after high school to be a freshman, and I'm declaring as a woman. Does that same ranking follow me? Can I still go to that school, but now I'm just joining a different team or joining the women's field instead of joining the men's field? How does that work? These are still conversations. Or does it not matter? Hey, listen, you start off as a man, you're staying in the NBA, we don't care if you identify as a woman, that's where you're going. But then that also brings a conversation. If that's the case, then WNBA girls can say, hey, I want to join the men's league then. Because I also identify as a man. So I want to join over there and play with Stephen Curry. The conversation had to be had. It's crazy that this is how it had to start. But it has to be had.
I don't want to see transgenders playing like mother. I don't even want to see transgender people. Period. Like stay in your gender. If you're a man and you're a woman, you're gonna stay playing with the men. If you are a woman and who transgender to a man, you're gonna play with the women. I don't care what you say. Like no, we're not doing that.
And I had a friend say, how about we just make them a league? We could just make them a league for them own. And I'm like, we could. But I think the conversation's still going to be, oh, well, we're not good enough to join the NBA. Like,
it's just not right.
I also agree with you. I think that we just should keep this the way it is. Like, for years, we have never had a problem with this. It has always just been men, women, you got to stay in your respectable sports, and we leave it at that. And now it comes to this conversation of, well, I'm transitioning, and like, but that shouldn't have to have a play in the sports that we're watching right now. Now, it was an interesting conversation when we started to talk about openly, I'm not about to go into a whole thing, but openly gay people joining sports. And we talked about how that was interesting from a men's side to a women's perspective. And that was a whole different conversation. And that was really interesting for people to be talking about. But I don't think that messes with the talent of that person. What they do outside of the court does not have to deal with what they do on the court. But, you know, it is a conversation. This is, we're in a really weird time. But when it comes to the sports that we all love and to watch, I don't think you should be interfering with that, especially when it comes to whoever, gentrification or whatever that is. We watch this because of the talent, not because you're trying to make a statement, not because you're trying to get into the news of a tabloid or publicity. Just play the sport.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only thing with that. Just play the sport.
I don't ever want to see transgender people moving at all. All right, guys, we'll take a. Oh no, go ahead.
No, I agree with you. I just want to see guys play. If it was up to me, I don't think Ennis Canada should be allowed to join the WNBA because it's
at
not
all.
you at all. Leave that to the sport. That's how it's been for years. Let them have what they have. Like, I understand the WNBA has been expanding and it's been around for years, and I'm so happy that they're finally getting the recognition that they deserve with the players that they have. But let it be that. Don't add on to that. Don't take advantage of what they're doing.
Right. So, guys, we'll take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back talking about the NFL preseason. Here you go. Hey guys, if you made it to this part of the video, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button to help our algorithm get out there to more people to watch the Spectrum podcast. Thanks, guys. Now let's get back to the show. All right, we are back, everybody, and now it is time to be talking about the NFL Week 2 preseason. If you guys haven't already, as I said before, hit that like, share, and comment all the way down the bottom to help us get our algorithm out there. So let's talk about the NFL, shall we? So first, let's see here. Hold on. Give me out of this.
I'm about to say,
Let's start with the.
don't start me off with Dallas.
Well, I would have, but I wanted to talk about like at least the cow because the only thing I want to talk about when it comes to the Cowboys is literally Caleb Downs and Malik Hooker.
Yeah, they had incredible. They had some really good games, some really good rookie showings in that preseason. Proud of them.
Yeah, that wasn't the first one I wanted to start off with though. How about we do the Lions and the Bengals because this kind of threw me for a loop right here.
I
Luke Altmaier, I'm not gonna lie, 130 yards, one interception, but one touchdown with two interceptions. Like, Jesus.
think the problem still with Cincinnati is the problem that they've been having for years, especially with Joe Burrow. Their line is atrocious. Their line has not gotten better at all. If you watch that beginning quarter, Joe Burrow got lit up immediately as he was touching the ball. They have to work on this offensive line. And I understand the competition. Cincinnati's supposed to be a playoff team this year. They really should be winning their division. I believe they should be, but you have not given them the guys to help them win their division. I mean, last year was an up and down spiral. Joe Burrow was injured half of the season. We bring in old man Flacco
And
to
Flacco's been like pretty good and useful as a
and he was great in Cleveland, and that's why they traded him to come to. And speaking of Cleveland, we'll talk about them a little bit later as well.
yeah.
But you bring in Flacco to kind of take over until Joe Burrow gets healthy again. Then Joe Burrow does come back, and it still feels like you're playing from behind. But I think they still have a good chance of being a great team this season. I just think it has to be some work that has to be done. But, they played good. They still won. They won 14-16. If you look at it, was how did they win? It was off a field goal,
Yeah.
and then yeah.
It was
So
off field goal, and you guys can see that I've been bringing up their stats.
make the field goal in the end. You get a touchdown with 4:41 left to go. Then Cincinnati has to punt, and then you intercept. Then the interception is thrown with 9 seconds left. Yeah, okay. I mean, welcome to preseason football, I guess. Yeah. Okay, it's some conversations. Yeah, it's definitely some conversations.
And look, at least if you're the Bengals, at least you know you got a good backup, unlike the Lions, because I don't know who their backup is outside of
Jared Goff. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, like it's just bad. Here's another one that we could talk about: the Steelers and the Packers. Now, obviously, we all know that didn't play, so it shouldn't even be surprised. But this. But still, this, now, I will say, here's what surprised me. I'm like, Kyle McCord is actually in the Green Bay Packers. He actually looked good, and I'm like, you actually look pretty decent as a quarterback. I'm surprised.
I'm not gonna lie. Drew Aller looked really good for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, him and Will Howard both look good in this game, hilariously enough, because they both played. So you got 7-9, 86 yards, because he didn't get a whole lot of opportunities. But he did make the most of his opportunities, and he played pretty well. He should have had a passing touchdown if that BS penalty didn't screw him over.
Yeah.
But at least he had a rushing touchdown that he could add to it. I mean,
Drew Aller was 10 of 13, 153 with 2 touchdowns, and he played really well. And I think we were a little interested to see how that was going to play out, because especially he didn't finish up at Penn State this season, so it was still a lot of conversation. I think he did really great at the combine, though. So to see how he played, some real live action defenses coming at him, I think he did pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked Will Howard when he came in. He still made some stuff happen. It was a good impact.
Yeah, that's the thing. I will say this: Drew Aller had his moments where he still looked like Penn State Drew Aller, but he looked pretty decent. So I mean, you got to give it to him. how well he played, and him and Will Howard played very, very well. And I'm actually interested to see, what this Mike McCarthy version of the Pittsburgh Steelers, because the offense looks so much better already.
Yeah, it does. It looks a lot better.
So much better. And it's like, that's all Steelers fans have asked for. It's like, we got the defense. Give us an offense, for God's sakes.
I want to see who all. Yeah, okay. So they play most of their rookies and their second string guys, which is fine. I think their receiving team is what I had the most biggest problem with, because it can't just be DK all the time. Like, DK can't be your entire offense. Like, it's
Yeah, he can't be. I am wondering who's going to be. Like, I do think Pat Frymuth, the tight end number 88 right here, I think he can be a really good threat, because he and how the Steelers had never really thrown him the ball, although he's a great pass catching tight end. So I think he could become a weapon for them. I am interested to see who the number 2 will be to DK. I won't lie to you about that. I'm going to tell people right now it won't be Roman Wilson, because he's been terrible. I won't lie about that.
oh, say it like you say it how you feel.
I'm gonna lie to you about that. Like he's been terrible. Like he's been terrible. Like y'all surprised Michigan wide receivers stink.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know what's super funny to me though? It's like their upcoming team this year, and I'm sorry for getting off topic, people, but their upcoming team this year got 2 really talented receivers, yet you don't have a quarterback that's gonna throw them the
That's
But the other thing too, it's like I don't know if you're gonna develop these guys right. That's the other thing. Because look, I like Kyle Whittingham, but his teams are not known for receivers or quarterbacks.
Mike McCarthy is that type of coach. You don't know what you're gonna get with him. Like, you don't know if he's good as a development coach. You don't know if he's good if you're already good and he just needs to put you in the right places. Mike is like always up and at him. Like in Dallas, it was so interesting because they were like, he's gonna create the next Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott, and I'm like, nah, he's not.
Yeah, I'm about to say no. He wasn't gonna look. Dak is Dak, brother. I'm sorry. Like Dak still is Dak.
Dak is stuck in his ways, and that's the problem. I wish Mike was kind of trying to transition him out of, but Dak is stuck in his ways, and I don't know why. I don't know why Dak is stuck in the way he plays.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. But Dak is Dak, and there was nothing he could do about that. Like, and look, I never really blame Mike McCarthy for the offense. I'm like, brother, you can't do nothing when Dak is stuck in his ways. And Dak's just a choke artist. It still is.
In Pittsburgh, I think the defense is what Pittsburgh is going to be definitely great in this season. So we just need the offense to be half of what they can be. The defense is going to pick up everything else.
I mean, you really just need the offense to be good and score points.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all you need. You don't need no elite offense. Just give me like a top 20, top 15 offense.
I want to see how that first real game for them is going to be, because Aaron isn't taking any snaps. That's going to be interesting. Aaron needs to touch the ball at least one time this preseason.
You know it. You know he not. Yeah. But I will say this, on defense, they did play some starters like Malik Harrison, Alex Highsmith. I know Jack is coming off the bench, but Jack has been pretty good. The only one that you don't see on here is TJ Watt, which obviously, why would you?
I don't think TJ Watt's going to play, because I don't believe. I don't think Max Crosby played in the first preseason game for Las Vegas either. So.
You know what really surprised me about the Packers with mainly Kyle McCord is the fact that this man actually ran and got 10 yards. I'm surprised. If you've seen him at Ohio State, you will see that man never runs. So that's what amazes me. You actually got 10 yards. I'm surprised.
Hey,
I'm surprised. I'm genuinely surprised.
Gotta use them legs. You gotta lose them legs.
I will say this when it comes to the Green Bay Packers. My only concern with them is their health. That's the only thing that's concerning about them.
I think Jordan Love has become an injury-prone quarterback a little bit, and I need him to kind of break that for a minute. But other than that, I think that's the only thing that I have against Green Bay. And they did lose Romeo Doubs to New England, which he was a good, strong piece for the wide receiver core. And I think... Well, I don't know. I think all the craziness that was going on with Josh Jacobs is over with, hopefully.
Yeah, I hope it is, but you never know. People, it's kind of like the funny thing about that is with the Green Bay Packers is they're a good team. You just need to worry about their health is the only thing that's so questionable about them. The next thing we can pretty much talk about is basically the team we just talked about. They lost their wide receiver to, which is the Colts and the Patriots, which this ended up being a tie game.
Yeah. Anthony Richardson did not have a good game.
He did not. He sucked.
Which is very concerning. He's not the starting quarterback. Daniel Jones still is. But
yeah, it's funny because you got like 11-14, but when you actually watch the film, it's like, dude, you are straight garbage.
Yeah, no, he had some really bad throws. He had some really bad miscues, and there's a lot of conversations that need to be had when it comes to where Anthony Richardson goes from here, because the tape did not do him any luck. We just look at the tape was not great.
It didn't.
It wasn't. So it's definitely some conversation that still needs to be had about what Anthony Richardson is going to do. I don't think he's anywhere near the second QB2 for Indianapolis at all. This other open conversation is Anthony Richardson getting traded, and is his trade value still high? Do people still want to take a chance on Anthony Richardson?
Who's the Indianapolis Colts? Like, if it's not going to be Anthony Richardson, who's going to be the number 2? Because, like, you don't have, like...
True.
That's the question, because I don't think it's gonna be Riley Leonard, because after the game he had, he wasn't great either. So it's like
it wasn't great. I don't think any of them had a great game. They both shared an interception, and I think his interception was in an open range. They weren't great. They weren't great.
Yeah, so like if you're to choose between Riley Leonard and Anthony Richardson, I'm like I'd rather go with Anthony Richardson than him, because at least Anthony Richardson got some freaking mobility that Riley Leonard got.
Yeah,
at least.
I agree with that. I think they just both need to get looked at. Please work.
Yeah, like if I am the Colts, I'm looking in next year's class to see who's going to be my quarterback. Like, is it going to be Julian Sayin? Is it going to be Dante Moore? Is it going to be Arch Manning? Which, again, I got to see how well Arch Manning does, because I'm so sick of the hype for this kid. And look, I love Arch Manning, but goddamn, people.
I don't think Archie Manning should come out the draft this year. Not if I only say
it depends on how good he looks, honestly.
I only say that if Texas can be able to make a college football playoff run. And I'm not saying make it all the way to the championship, but like at least make it to the second round. Then we can talk about you coming out in the draft. But we got to see that for ourselves. Hopefully, since you had last year was your first full year with the offense for the first time, you got to be number 1. This is your second year having a full concept with the offense, getting to learn all the plays, getting to gel with everybody, and you guys have made some improvements, made some adjustments. So let's just see how it works out. But I don't know. I think everybody has him high on somebody's list. Somebody still thinks that he's going. Well, he can't go to New York. Maybe the Jets, not the Giants. I think Jackson Dart is the future of the New York Giants.
Oh yeah, no, they don't need him. They just they got Jackson Dart. They like him.
Now,
so we'll see. But I will say this though about the Colts is, at least you got Daniel Jones and you got an offense that's built. You just need a quarterback that can back him up and be your future for the years to come.
You just gave Jonathan Taylor a lot of money and a big extension, so he's your running back for the future, and he's a great running back. DeForest Buckner is still a great defensive end, but Sauce Gardner, I almost forgot about that guy. He's still. I wouldn't say he's a top cornerback like he was in New York, but he's something. He can be something.
He's still a top tier cornerback. He's just not like how he was in the Jets as of right now. But we'll see if he can get back to that. But I will say that the defense did impress me, especially Caden Curry, because like him in this game, he was absolutely just stupid. I'm like, is this going to be an addition of the hometown kid back in Indiana playing first team? And he's also playing with his former teammate JT Tuamola. Both of them played good in this game.
I want to see. I want to see what happens if Chicago does make this transition to Indiana. The rivalry of the Hammond, Indiana Bears and the Indianapolis Colts.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the Colts will destroy them. Like I won't lie about that. Like I don't think their team will be much. Because, like, they're just going to be a flat-out disappointment like they've always been. So, you know, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Now, for the Patriots, I will say this. Like, obviously, you didn't have Mac Jones play.
No,
I'm surprised they didn't have
you didn't have a lot of guys play.
Trevion Henderson play in this one. I'm surprised they didn't have him playing. But
I
I am a little surprised at that one. But I will say this. Marion Miller looked like a good running back in this game.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the line is still an issue.
no, the line is still, they got to work on that. But at least
But
you're seeing
I like that they
there's
got a
something.
running back. I like that they did get a good running back game because I'm not gonna lie. I think that's half of what Frank Vogel is going to be doing next season. Drake May can pass, and he does have a little bit of arm, but
Yeah, but here's what I will say. I do think you should play them, at least him with his new receivers and Stephon Diggs, Josh Dobbs, along with Trevion and them, just to get a feel so that way they can have a connection built. Because to me, that's also what the preseason is all about. It's about getting connections when you make trades and stuff like that happen.
Yeah.
And their defense was still pretty good, as you can see. Like, they're still a good defense. I mean, it's kind of impressive. It's just that they still got to work some stuff out on offense. And if they can fix their offensive line, they'll be a good football team. And as you guys can tell by the game stats, it was a really good game. Well, again, what's funny to me is how on third down conversions, it's like they both were not great.
yeah, no.
But the Patriots converted 2 and 2 on fourth downs in their 0-1. That's super funny because that actually costed the Cardinals against the Panthers is their fourth down conversions.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one thing. But then you also have here where the Colts are 1 of 3 in the red zone, and at least the one time, but the Patriots only got in there one time, so it's like,
Yeah, I don't let this scoreboard fool you guys. I don't think any of these teams deserve to win. I'm happy it ended in a tie, but they both had some work to do. I think you saw good and bad from both of these teams in that preseason game, but I think a whole offense being set up, I think New England has a better chance. I want to see how Indianapolis looks. I do believe, I don't know when Daniel Jones where he's coming back from, but I think if he can come back in during the preseason, I think he should at least play a quarter, at least.
he should. I'm going to tell you this right now, too. It's, we'll see what happens. But like I said, I do want to see some guys or starters get some playing time just to adapt to each other to see how things are going. Now, we're going to move on to the Chargers-Texans, obviously. And Trey Lance, bro, you still suck.
Yeah, he didn't have a great game. He didn't have a great game.
Oh man, it's still funny to me. This dude, but like I said, he should have never left college.
Yeah, he left to when he left because there was a lot of. I remember that entire draft class. It was him. It was Zach Wilson, and everybody was really high on a lot of those guys.
I'm gonna say this: the 3 to me that should have gotten I think Trevor Lawrence got drafted to the right situation because the Jaguars actually have tried to build around him. The guys who got drafted into bad situations, Justin Fields and Mac Jones. Mac Jones should have went to the 49ers. Justin Fields should have went to another team himself. Like, he should have went probably to the Broncos or something. Like, go to some other team.
I feel like Mac Jones probably would have been a better quarterback for Chicago because they more had a pocket presence idea of an offense.
I don't trust Chicago. They ruin every quarterback they get, and I'm like, they would have found a way to ruin Mac Jones. Like, no quarterback during that point in time should want to go to Chicago. Like, even now with Caleb Williams, like, they're trying to, like, I've seen rankings putting him in the top 10 of quarterbacks, and I'm like, what are y'all smoking?
Huh? I'm sorry.
No, seriously, there are rankings out there where he's top 10. Like, I'm like, what are y'all smoking?
I want to say this. I don't understand why Patrick Mahomes, who hasn't played a snap, or who got torn ACL, is still the top-ranked quarterback in the NFL going into this season, and Matthew Stafford just came off an MVP season, and he's not the top-ranked quarterback.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that.
I don't like that.
I think the one thing they're doing is, like, they're trying to get Patrick Mahomes slack just because, I mean, he's a 3-time Super Bowl winner. He's a 2-time MVP himself, this, that, and the other. Like, they're trying to get that man the slack. And I'm like, no. Look, Matthew Stafford should be ranked over him because he had a better season. And yes, I get it. He got injured, but like, put Matthew Stafford ahead of Patrick Mahomes.
And I understand that he's having an incredible recovery, and he is way farther than he should be. But we don't know when Mahomes is going to get on the field this year and actually take some snaps. We do not know when that is going to happen. And yes, Lamar Jackson is still one of the top best quarterbacks in the league, also with Josh Allen. But the problem with them is we do not know how they play when the playoffs come. When the playoffs start, they have a lot of question marks and a lot of problems. Speaking of which, I have seen the news that there are a lot of people that are not happy with the Bills' new stadium. They do not like the Bills' new stadium. It is not great.
I mean, you know, you've seen better stadiums. That's all I'm just saying.
I think what was one thing I saw? Like, the seats are too close. The seats are way together. And I think it's like a slope. Like, it's not even. It's not a balanced stadium. I don't know how this took so long and y'all couldn't get those things corrected. But yeah, a lot of fans are not gonna have fun going to Bills games this year.
Yeah, here's my thing. Fans won't. They'll still be there to cheer for their team even if they hate the stadium.
Yeah.
But I will say this, and we will talk about them soon because I think they were part of the preseason, if I'm not mistaken. So, but I will say this with the Texans, and this will be my only thing with the Texans is the only thing that concerns me about them, their receiving unit and their offensive line. That's the only thing that concerns me right now.
I think CJ's gonna have a better season than what he had last year. I think his interception ratio is what I think people didn't like about CJ Stroud last season. But the way he walked into that first training camp, looking like that kid that just woke up from high school.
I mean, again, I don't blame the guy for what happened last year. And not to mention, he still made the playoffs for the third year in a row, and he's working with less. So.
And you didn't really have your entire receiving core. It wasn't healthy. This year is going to be a whole different ball game. I like CJ Stroud. I love the way that he plays. I still think there needs to be a coaching change in Texas.
I'm gonna say this: if you're the Texans and you need a number one receiver, you better be looking at Jeremiah Smith. That's what I would say.
And Mike McDermott is waiting and he's taking his time. He's trying to see who's available and who's going to be looking for a coach next year. Texas might be one of those teams. So we're going to see how that all plays out. But yeah, no, I don't blame anything. I don't blame CJ for what happened last year. I think that the Texans just had a really bad year. And they can build on a lot of stuff. I still love that team that they put together because it's young, it's strong, and it's a playoff team. And this is exactly what Deshaun Watson was supposed to make the Texans, but that didn't happen. That did not happen.
He came close until he started doing some stupid stuff.
Yeah, he came close. He came close.
Until he started doing some stupid stuff. Now, on to the Arizona Cardinals and the Raiders game, because we talked about this.
Yes.
While Fernando's numbers look great, he was kind of
they looked okay.
They were okay.
97 yards, 10 of 16, and a touchdown. It wasn't great. It was okay. I think now here's the thing that I'm interested in. Kirk Cousins comes in around the third, fourth quarter, 5 of 6, 50 yards and a touchdown. Now, from everybody's perspective, Kirk Cousins is most likely going to be the starter to start the season out for the Las Vegas Raiders this season. I'm not gonna lie. I don't see Kirk Cousins being the starter for a long time. Now, I'm not saying Fernando Mendoza had an incredible game where I'm like, oh yeah, he's the starting quarterback. I think Kirk Cousins has a problem of being consistent, and I think Kirk Cousins has a problem of keeping himself in games, and they're gonna rely on Fernando Mendoza a lot. I think Ashton Jenkins is gonna have a really good breakout season. It didn't show this game, but I think it can show. I think the receiving core was okay, but they're also working with two quarterbacks that You got to get used to. Kirk Cousins is a slinger. He likes to throw the ball quick. You got to get used to that. Fernando likes to more take his time, but he needs to become more of an open set like quarterback where he can where he can stay in the pocket and not feel he has to move and run out and throw on his side. Like, you got to get used to being in that pocket. And it doesn't help that Las Vegas line isn't the greatest either. But it can be something. I think it was a good game. I think Arizona still won because of the of how they set up this team. Carson Beck did not play, but Gardner Minshew had a really good game. Kobe Brissett did come in for a couple snaps. Jeremiah Love had a 58-yard game, which is not bad.
Oh yeah.
So
honestly, I'm gonna tell you this: the Cardinals, the biggest thing they got on this offense is the fact that their running back room is so freaking deep.
it is. It's a really good running back room.
The best running back room, I think, in the NFL, because that is a deep running back room. I think they got the deepest in the league right now. So it's something. Now, the one thing I do want to see is their offensive line, because their offensive line hasn't been great.
Yeah.
If you ask me. Now, I would say this: Paris on the left side. And the left side of the offensive line has done good. It's the right side where they've been not so great. So it's like I'm interested in seeing how that's going to pan out. In this game, I mean, I know Marvin didn't play a whole lot, obviously. But in the one time he did play, he looked good. And I'm like, look, I know Marvin hasn't had the seasons everybody expected him to have, but he still has a productive NFL career going, and he's broken records too.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna say this with Marvin is I think he's gonna continue to get better as the season goes on, and hopefully they start designing plays for him to get the ball, because that's what I've noticed. They still don't do that.
I think when we watched Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins a couple of years ago and how they just kind of forced a lot of stuff, you can't do that with Marvin Harrison. You can, but make it to where it's easy for your quarterback and for your wide receiver. Marvin Harrison can go up and jump on anybody. We've seen him do it numerous times. But open up some opportunities for him. Help him to show
Oh, no,
off.
there been times he's been open, but the quarterback never sees him for some reason. I'm like,
Right. So it's like you gotta make the adjustments and get him more involved. I think giving him deep routes and slants is not the only thing that man can do. You gotta open up the offense to where he can be effective in short games, in short runnings, and then let him kind of do the receiver after catch. Get him the.
and Marvin does do that pretty well. He did it well at Ohio State. He could do it well at the NFL level, I believe. So like, you guys gotta use him more, like Ohio State did. I mean, just watch his tape. The man was really good at this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't just run deep routes. He also played in the slot and ran over the middle a couple times. Like, if you have to, get him involved in that too.
He
It's
can make
not
he
hard.
can make the rec catches and get some extra yards and fight. That's what he can do. We know what he's good at. So you got.
Yeah, so like when people started blaming Marvin, I'm like, guys, you can't blame him if the offense, if they're not even trying to design plays for him to get, for either, whether they're not trying to design plays for him to get the ball, or either the quarterback he's open and the quarterback's just not seeing him.
Yeah.
Because this was the thing I complained about when it came to people kind of dogging on Brandon Ennis, and I'm like, guys, Brandon Ennis was not the problem last year.
Nope.
The way the offense was structured last year at Ohio State was, but also Brandon Ennis got open a lot, and Julian saying never saw him. And when he did, it was rare. So it's like, look, he got the ball, and guess what? You want to know what's funny? Down the field, Brandon Ennis is deep down the field. Brandon Ennis is actually 4 of 10 when it comes to receiving those catches. But the funny thing is, he never drops them. It's always the quarterback who overthrew it.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, you can't blame the receivers all the time. Like, at some point, the quarterback got to get some crap, because it's like, look, these guys be open. Either you're overthrowing or you're underthrowing or you're just not seeing them. Like, dude, get them the ball when they're there. Like, they're open, and they're even telling you they're open. You're just not looking their direction. So look their direction more so.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
It's not the hardest thing in the world. Like, people tend to act like as if this is nothing. Like, no, people, I'm telling you, the offense, how the wide receiver plays can be dependent on the quarterback play as well. Because look at Justin Jefferson with J.J. McCarthy, people. He had the worst season of his career with McCarthy.
All right.
He is the best. This is the greatest example. Greatest example. Because this is what happens when you have a trash quarterback. If you got a trash quarterback, that's what happens. You're not going to play very well. I don't care how great of a receiver you are. You're not going to have a great season, no matter how good you
He
are.
didn't score a touchdown until what, week 12, week 10?
Like somewhere between like week 10 to week 16. Somewhere between.
And that did not fall on Kevin O'Connell, because we know how Kevin O'Connell is. That did not fall on him. And of course, half of his playbook is made for Justin Jefferson. So that was definitely on J.J. McCarthy. But it has been confirmed. It has been confirmed. Kyler Murray will be the starting quarterback going into this season for the Vikings. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this works.
You know what's funny? Do you know who they compared J.J. McCarthy to? Funny enough.
I was about to say Mitchell Trubisky, but I feel like that's.
But nah, they compared him to Christian Pons. For people who don't know who that is, that was a quarterback who got drafted in the NFL for the same reasons J.J. McCarthy did and just completely floundered. Like, it was like, now the difference is he wasn't no top 10 pick, though. That was the difference.
No, that is true.
That is the biggest difference. It's like, and speaking of such, too, like, the Vikings do have Carson. They have Carson Wentz.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no.
J.J. McCarthy did play, and yes, he sucked people. I watched. Kyler Murray played for a little bit. He was all right. He was decent. I'll give it that. Carson Wentz actually looked kind of okay, actually. Yeah. Like, I think the only thing that concerns me about them is, it is quarterback play, because still, I don't trust Kyler Murray for worth a damn. But I trust him more than J.J. McCarthy. And I'm going to want to see how their offense is. Their offensive line, mainly, because I know they dealt with a crap ton of injuries last year, too. So I am interested to see can this team stay healthy next year. And then the Giants, like, look, Jack Stark, he was good for the little bit he played. Jameis Winston was solid. Braden Allen was solid. They had some solid backups, I'll say that now.
Here's the thing I don't like. OJB should have got that ball.
Yeah, no, duh.
OJB should have got that ball at least one time. That's the only thing I didn't like about the Giants game. Mm-hmm. Because, like, even when he was on the field, the standing ovation that man received.
Well, he did get 2 receptions for only 6 yards out of 3 targets. He only targeted 3 times. My God.
You got to take that man, like, on a little of a slant route. Give him a quick 1-2. Like, let him have some fun on that field. But the Harborough legacy is about to start in New York.
I would say this Cameron Scatterbo. I know he had like he was pretty good.
He was pretty good. I will say I saw him be less of a force, like the crazy running back that puts his head down and just tries to get the extra yardage, and he was a little bit more smarter, which I respect. I think that that's good for him. Like, Cam, we know that you're a really strong running back, but now you can use that to where you need to. Like, the advantages of that is you use it when you have to, not on every single possession. Not on every single play you got to put your head down and want to bang through somebody. But use it when you have to, when you know it's extra yards that can be made. But I liked how he played. He played smart. He was just trying to get his yards. He's going to be a great running back for the New York Giants. I think that combination is going to be great for them. So
by the way, I was pretty impressed with their defense as well, especially Arvell Reese. Like, he looked good.
Yeah.
He looked really good. I'm like, go ahead, boy. Show them what you about. As a matter of fact, that's what I will say about games such as the Vikings and not the Vikings, but such as the Commanders and the Cowboys. Is I'm really paying attention to see how their rookies look because with the
played incredible for them. Those wide receivers feel so happy to have a quarterback that can actually like give them the ball on some good plays. Malik Levis played great. But yeah, I think when you think of teams like that, defense and definitely offense is going to be a big thing for them. The Commanders have a great looking team so far. I mean, they got really old at some point. We know last year they grabbed Bobby Wagner. This year, I believe that Stephon Diggs has just got signed with them, so he's going to be a new wide receiver to connect them with Terry McLaurin. I think the only thing about them is Jaden Daniels has to be prepared.
I mean, he just has had the better season in his sophomore season.
Yeah, I think the injuries got to him though. I think he stays
It
healthy.
did.
I think if he stays healthy, then I think he's going to have an incredible season. Now, I will say this. I'm going to bring this up. I don't like that this whole LSU thing with a number that isn't retired and you're upset.
Yeah, listen here. I'm going to say this because he tends to, because of what LSU did with Joe Burrow, because people don't think it, because no one's allowed to wear the number 9 because of Burrow. He tends to confuse that thinking he can do that. It's like, dude, Burrow was part of the historical 2019 team with a dominant offense, a historical offense at that. That not only did Joe Burrow win the Heisman, he won the freaking Natty and went undefeated. So, like, why do you think people say that no one should be wearing number 9? Because he had the greatest season of all time that an LSU quarterback has ever had.
And Dave,
Like,
you had a great season, but you didn't make the playoffs. You didn't make the bowl, but you didn't make the playoffs. And now, yes, you had a Heisman year, which was great. It was good.
Yeah, but that's not the only thing. Like, yeah, you got a Heisman, great for you, but it's like, bro, you were 9-3. You went to the Relinquist Bowl, and y'all didn't even win. So it's kind of like, why would we even let you not have your jersey? Like, what makes you think you should not have your jersey worn, brother? You didn't pull a Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Jade, I like you, man. You're a great quarterback. I think you're great for the Commanders, but come on, bro. Like, you're upset about a number that you're not even going to wear anymore. Like, and now he's like, oh, y'all can't use my image and likeness anymore. Joe.
No, bro, the number is not your image and likeness, buddy. It's not.
Like, it's not that deep. I need you to, that was a whole other thing in itself. But you got to focus on what you can control. And this season, you have everything you can have to at least be a playoff team. Now,
see, it's these families, realistically, because I'm like, his family started nonsense. Now it's like DJ Pickett's family, and I'm like, y'all just ridiculous.
Now, I was very surprised. Now, Brandon Ayuk is supposed to be on this team, but of course, he fell out with Jaden Daniels during this offseason.
Oh, yeah.
About his mom, which is also not wrong. I also believe that Jaden
he's not wrong.
Plays a lot into what happens on this team, but especially with Jaden Daniels. And that's only because he's young. I'm going to also put that as a statement.
He is young. He might get taken advantage of, so yeah, I understand that.
So Jaden Daniels is not 25, 24. Jaden Daniels is like 20, 23. All right,
so I get it, but I will say this: when it comes to the Commanders, I was very impressed with Sonny Styles, and the Cowboys. I was impressed with Caleb Downs, which no one should be surprised that these guys actually did really well. Honestly, I said it before. I really do believe that this upcoming NFL season, and look, we can go through all the other games, but the realism is, from what I see of these games, is you got players who's got some promise. Like, for instance, with the Saints, I was very impressed with Lorenzo Styles, Sonny Styles' brother. I was impressed with him in this game. I was also impressed with the guys that got signed as well, such as Tywan Malone and CJ Donaldson. I was impressed with them for a little bit. Now, I know not everybody's stats going to pop up here, as I've seen, but it's like some of these guys are really, really good. I've been impressed with certain young guys, like even the offensive lineman that the New York Giants drafted at 10, he was really good. So they got a promise with their offensive line. They still got more work to do. But I will say, when it comes to the NFL offseason, when it comes to what we've seen of all these teams, they all got some promise to them. And I'm actually excited to see how the NFL season plays out. Now, I will say this, we will be talking about week 3 of the preseason, obviously, and seeing how these teams continue. We will.
Oh, well, no, they got one.
But you did want to talk about the Browns, so I'll give you the opportunity to talk about them real quick, because Deshaun Watson, if we're being honest. So let me put this back up here.
Deshaun Watson makes his official return to football in over 2 years. Not great. Not great.
Not at all.
But, okay, so here's the problem. Here's the problem with the Browns that I think we already knew this was going to come. The problem was you drafted way too many quarterbacks, and you put no development on any of them. Shador should be a lot better than where Shador is, but you guys have not given him. You know when you got okay. I'm gonna make an example. This is gonna be a crazy example, guys. But you know when you got your favorite kid, right? And you know you got that favorite kid, and you know you give him all the attention, you give him all the joy and the love that you want to give him, and he turns out to not be the son that you thought he was going to be. And then you look at your second born, and you realize that son probably is on a really good track, but he could have been a little bit better if you gave him a little bit more love. That's where Shador Sanders is with the Cleveland Browns. If you guys give that man a little bit more love, he can be the quarterback that you guys need him to be. You guys are waiting on Deshaun, and Deshaun's time has passed a long time ago. Deshaun Watson right now is just stinging a paycheck, and he is not the quarterback for you guys. But your QB room is horrible all the way around, and it doesn't have to be, but you guys put yourself in a predicament. Now, the problem also is nobody wanted this Cleveland job, and the one person that did want the job, you guys looked over him because you guys felt like he didn't fit. So he said, all right, screw this, I'm leaving then, and I'm taking my ball, and I'm going back to college. So now you're stuck with an even worse time with a coach that is okay, but he's not what the team needs. You lose Myles Garrett, which was gonna happen anyway.
It's gonna happen regardless, but at least you got some out of it.
You got Jerry Verse, who was a great defensive
I would say Jared Verse was pretty good.
Jerry Verse is a really good defensive end. But this Cleveland team is going to be the same team we saw them be last year. They're going to be last. Yeah. They're going to be last in the division. They're going to be last in the conference because of the fact that they do not do the simple things right. There should be no reason you have I'm not going to even go off talent. We're not going to even go off a stacked room because half of these guys are Heisman either finalists or winners. Aside from Shador. I think Shador was not a Heisman finalist. But Gabriel is, Deshaun Watson is, like, we're past that point now. You got to let Deshaun go. But the problem is he's getting paid so much money, and you gave him such a big extension, you can't just let him go. Because no team wants to pick up that contract and want to deal with that. The Bears take advantage. I mean, we already know Caleb Williams is not going to be playing any snaps this preseason, which I think is a stupid idea from Ben Johnson.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Tyson Badger makes that guy look like he looks like the best quarterback for the Bears. Honestly, like he just does. It is what it is, and I mean, I ain't sorry about it. So,
I'm not gonna lie. Everybody was so excited. Like, I can't wait for the Bears preseason game, and I'm like, Caleb isn't playing. And I need to see Caleb at least play a snap or two. I mean, it was the same with Justin Fields. When Justin Fields got on that field for the first time during that preseason game, I was like, I want to see what he can do.
What did you think of him in that preseason game, by the way?
That first preseason game from Justin Fields? I thought we saw a glimpse of how, from the speed that he has, we always knew Justin Fields was one of them scrambling quarterbacks. He was that in Ohio State. But I think I wanted to see more of a pocket presence from him. But I also have to remember the coach that we had at the time wasn't a pocket presence coach. And I enjoyed Justin Fields in that first preseason game. Mm-hmm. He was a good quarterback. I'll
say this. In the NFL, here's what you need to be. A quarterback first and a playmaker second. Like, Justin's more of a playmaker, not just a runner. He's a playmaker entirely. But he needs to be second to that. He needs to just be quarterback and throw in the pocket. And from what I've seen of him in that preseason game, I'm like, okay, but this is what happens when you actually get a coach who knows what the F he's doing.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why I said, when you put him with a guy like Ed Reed, who is going to slow stuff down for him and say, whoa, I know you played over here with
the Bears and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even though I will say with the Steelers, they did let him pocket pass more than the Bears did.
Even Pittsburgh only used them for option plays, which I didn't.
Yeah.
Really like. But you played with them, and then you went to New York with this new defensive set mind coach, not an offensive set mind, who kind of didn't know how to keep you balanced. And then you bring in Tyrod Taylor, who again, guys, I don't know how they got keep finding the job, but he's out there. You bring him in, and it's still kind of the same thing. But listen, I'm gonna help you because I got a quarterback just like you, who likes to kind of run out and pass first and ask questions later. But I'm gonna help you to get a pocket presence, to become a definite force. Because I need you to keep me over 500. So I'm gonna help you to help me keep you over 500. Now, I also made this so much easier for you. I got you a running back who is also the Super Bowl MVP.
BP.
Crazy how that happened.
Right.
I still got you a decent wide receiver core in Al Pacheco. You got some guys. But I'm gonna let you run. I'm gonna let you do what you do best. I'm gonna let certain things that they say you can't do, and I'm gonna help you do it. Ed Reed is gonna take his time with him. Now, I don't know if he's gonna stay. He's not gonna stay in Kansas City forever. But for right now, this is where Justin Fields needs to be.
I say he needs to stay for 3 years before he leaves.
I can agree with that. I can attest to that. Attest to that. If he can stay there for 3 years and just learn and just take in everything, he'll be fine.
Yeah, that's all that needs to be done for him. And as we talked about, too, with the Rams game, you said it, Ty Simpson was the best rookie quarterback that we see. And you know what was even better? Matt Claire played freaking well, too. Along with, who else played super, super well? Because there's a lot of dudes who kind of played well in this. Mark Redmond, who's a rookie himself. Yeah. Jordan Waiters, a running back, who, as well as Jarquez Hunter. These guys actually played pretty well. And their defense actually played pretty good as well. So it's like, I'm excited to see how the Rams, you think they could win the Super Bowl this year?
I was just told that Aaron Donald had a second practice at the Rams facility today. So, I don't know, guys. I think the conversation that we just talked about with Ohio State, special teams is where LA is going to have to be not perfect, but better. We lost a lot of games last year because of the special teams of the Los Angeles Rams. I think if we can clean special teams, that we'll be fine. Defense is not an issue. We kind of cleaned that up. Offense is still looking strong. We gave up too many kickoff touchdowns. One of them was against the Seahawks that started that big comeback. Another one was during the playoffs. Special teams is where we really have to get our bread and butter. Now the defense has been kind of settled in. We can definitely stay with a lot of teams. I like where the Rams are, though. Matthew Stafford is coming off an incredible year. I don't even think he has to do everything he did in that first year. He just has to do half of it. Puka Nacua is going to have an incredible year. He's about to get paid. Puka Nacua is about to get paid when the season ends, for sure. Now, can he do what Cooper Kupp did and have a triple crown season? I don't know. But he can get close. Devontae Adams is still, to me, one of the best. How do I say this? When it comes to just throwing it up there and seeing who's going to come down and get it, I still trust Devontae Adams. But his route running is special. It always has been. I wish we could have got in on the sweepstakes of either a Deebo Samuel or maybe a Stephon Diggs, but I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. But now is this conversation that we might get Vita Vea from Tampa Bay since he just asked for a trade. I think the defense is set. I don't even need to do that on the defense. I think the defense is done. You know, we can get Aaron Donald on a little of a cheap little contract, get 99 back in the stands. We'll make one more playoff run. I'm cool. I think they're going to definitely be a playoff team. I think they definitely can make Super Bowl. I think they can make Super Bowl. I think, but here's the thing. I think Seattle lost too many pieces, and I don't think Seattle's going to be as good as they were a year ago. I don't think they're as good as they were. I think Buffalo is still going to be one of those top teams, even when a guy like DJ Moore, who had a great preseason game, he had a great preseason game against Carolina. So I think Josh Allen found another good wide receiver, which I don't think wide receivers were the problem. I think you're still the problem, but just trying to help.
Actually, I will say this: I do think Josh Allen had got screwed a couple times too, because there are games they absolutely shit where there are calls that should have absolutely went their way, but just
I really hope Keon Coleman has a great, at least decently good season this year, and he decides to leave Buffalo and get out of there, because I can't. Same with Golden Tate. I think Golden Tate for Green Bay. Yeah, he was not.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I think we'll see how these other teams go in the regular season. We'll see how other teams look, but I will say that I am very impressed and very excited to see how the seasons pan out for all these teams, and that's great. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. We reach at a point where I do gotta get to the show because it's 6:47 and the OHL podcast starts at 7, and we already know that it's gonna be and I want you guys to check them out because they should be having a show today. But I'm real quick, because I said it before, that at the end of the show, I got something I got to say to certain people, because they have been just complete. And they even have the nerve to talk about my best friend, especially. So I'm going to tell you ignoramus something. You two little girls, I'm going to call you Mar and Jam, because that's how log jam your brains really are. You people are the biggest ignoramus dunce preteens I've ever seen in my life. You are people who generally just act like as if you're the entire ish and you just want to act weird and talk stuff to people. Yet you have the nerve to also do a live stream about it too. One of you did anyway. Had the nerve to do a live stream thinking you the ish and then send it to my best friend like as if it's something funny. Let me tell you something, you eater out of girl. What you need to understand is you ain't nothing. Because all the stuff you do, you didn't even have the guts to say it to her face, and you definitely wouldn't have the guts to say it to mine. I really want to go off, but I'm not trying to get demonetized by YouTube by cussing you out. So I'm just going to keep it PG for kids. You gut dunce clowns remind me so much of Michigan fans with the greatest set of dumb-essery that I've ever seen in my life. You think that talking bad about somebody actually makes you big? It don't. You sound like the Michigan fans that I have dealt with that I call dumb tards because they are the dumbest human beings there are on the planet. They think they're the most infatuated. They think they are the most highly of the superior and think that we are the greatest things ever been. Like, if you don't go sit your dumb-headed, dumb-tarded, ignorant, go stuck on somebody's peep. I'm gonna set it. Go stuck on a hot dog. You honestly need to understand this. You aren't anything. Stop talking about people. If you ain't gonna say it to their face, because look, every insult that I can throw at people, I will say it to their face. I'm not gonna say it over live stream all the time. This time I am, because I don't know where you chicks at. But you two ignorant clowns need to go sit your little fat-headed selves down somewhere and go learn how to be a housewife somewhere. Go be the ones who go rattle the pots and the pans like the typical housewives that do this stuff. Don't try to come up here acting like as if you something. Go get a life. Get a life. Seriously, get a life. I'm tired of you little girls like this. I don't know where y'all be coming from. Here's the other thing, too. Like, what's with you twit? Seriously. Complete imbeciles. And you think you funny. I even had to tell my best friend when she told me this. I said, ignore it. Don't watch it. Don't even entertain them with this. But let me get them this time. And if they still come for you, as much as they coming for me, because she had mentioned me, because she mentioned the fact that one of them had the nerve to talk about me, I'm gonna tell you straight up. If you ever see me in person, I will straight out embarrass you in front of everybody. I will embarrass you in front of everybody. I will go out of my way to make sure, and I mean this when I say this, I will go out of my way to make sure that everybody can hear every single insult I can throw at you, and then I'm gonna ask God for forgiveness for the stuff I'm about to say. I really am. I'm really gonna ask him for forgiveness because I will go all the way off in ways that people have never heard. I promise you. I promise you. You are not gonna want to see me in person because if you do, I will roast you like no tomorrow. Because what I'm saying ain't even close to the stuff I want to say. So let this be a lesson to anybody. If you dealing with some bullies, tell them to say it straight up to your face. And if they ain't got the guts to say it, then you better go tell them to go tick off somewhere and go outside and touch some grass with your fat, feastodonic selves. Get a life, god dang it. And yes, Troy, I'm going off on people because they got some nerve to be talking. For once, I'm like, y'all don't know me. Y'all don't want to know me. Y'all don't want to know the side of me that can go off and say stuff. Because if you find out that side of myself, I promise you, you're not going to like me, that side. Because you got to do a lot to bring out that side of me. And just being ignorant, dumb, and just full on just ignorant is the best way to get the worst out of me. So, I swear, for them girls, if you listening to this, understand, I better not hear you say another goddamn word about me. You better not ever say a word about my best friend. You better not ever say nothing disrespectful, otherwise I will really come after you. Because you and I can be face to face and we gonna see how tough you little girls are. I'll make that real clear, Mar and Jam. We're gonna see how tough you little girls are when it's all said and done. So you better shut your mouths from here on out. I'm not hearing not another word from you. I just better not. Don't let me hear another word from you. Ever. So guys, got that ran out of the way. So guys, thank you for joining the show. If you haven't already, please enjoy the rest of your day with myself. James just left, but we will have another episode of the Spectrum Podcast. We talk about week 3 of the preseason and even more about training camp that's been going on in all college football. And I've enjoyed everything you guys want to do. So peace out, guys. And I'll see you guys next week. All right. Thanks for tuning in to the Spectrum Podcast. If you guys haven't already, hit that like, share, subscribe, turn on those notifications so you guys never miss an episode of the Spectrum. But also put a comment down in the comment section down below to help us get our algorithm out there to more people, so that way more people could tune into the Spectrum Podcast. At the end of the day, we thank you guys for tuning in and expect more shows coming from the Spectrum Podcast. All right, guys. Again, thank you.
Walking through the neon in the middle of the night, every color hidden different in the pale moonlight. I see the violet bleeding in the shades of deepest blue, a prismatic vision of a world that's feeling new. My heartbeat is syncing with the flashing of the signs, tracing out the movement of these geometric lines. From the infrared heat to the ultraviolet glow, I'm catching every frequency, I'm moving with the flow. There's a rhythm in the static, there's a logic in the noise, finding my direction through the balance and the poise. It's that spectrum vibe, yeah, we're living in the light, breaking through the prism, shining beautiful and bright. From the shadows to the summit, every color has a name. In the spectrum of the spirit, no two souls are quite the same. Yeah, we're riding on the wave, caught inside the golden hue. Spectrum vibes are calling.